Hi guys, I'm Tanisha,
And I'm Aisha.
and we are creating this new YouTube called Mommies to Be because we're gonna be two mommies to be soon.
Yay!
So we just want to talk about we want to talk about how we met, how we know each other, kind of introduce ourselves a little bit, so new to YouTube, and then just talk about how we're gonna start a family. Okay, so like I said, I'm Tanisha. I am 23 years old.
And I am Aisha, and I am 24.
And so we've been together for almost 5 years. Here in August, on August 15th, it'll be 5 years. So you want to tell me how we first met?
We met working at Dylan's. Um, it's kind of a weird story, Tanisha was mean to me at first. She kind of dissed me, you were like the cashier?
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Well, she wants to tell it.
When I started Dylan's, I started in 2012. It was like the fall, October, November-ish. And so I was a sacker. And before that, I worked at Toys R Us. Rest in peace to them. And so it was my second job, but it was my first grocery store job, whatever. And so she was the cashier, and I was a sacker, so I'm just looking down, trying to focus on the groceries and whatnot. And so I hear her say hi. And so I look up, and she's looking at the customer. So, common sense, you're going to think they're talking to the customer. I'm not going to embarrass myself. So I look back down. I look up, and she's staring at me. So I'm like, well, did you say something to me? She's like, yeah, I said hi. And I said, oh, hey, how you doing, whatever. So, we had this little conversation like that, and, then we kind of really started talking after I had turned 18 because they were making fun of my birthday outfit
She's
that
a
I
little
wore
slut.
or whatever. And so
Howdy, mama.
we started, let's see, we started off
No,
being best friends.
Tell the story how you had your little trench coat on, and she had a little, what were they called? Leggings.
That
or
doesn't matter.
It was all skimpy, like she didn't have nothing underneath it.
I just had my fishnets on because that was the style back then, my favorite thing to wear. And I wore it to school, high school, so it was appropriate or whatever. But anyways.
She low-key wore that for me.
And so then, after that, that's when we started talking and being friends. One day, we actually really talked at work a long time.
And I invited you to Skivvies, remember?
Yeah, that was after
This
that.
gay bar.
What?
No, go ahead.
No, you want to tell your story. Tell your story.
You know what? Like, I liked Tanisha, but I think that she didn't like me. Like, she got to telling me, like, one night we were, like, bagging, I was bagging for her, and, like, we talked the whole night. We got in trouble. They was mad because we stayed together. And she kept, was like, oh, I date girls. And so, I thought I was, like, being cool because I was like, oh, well, I kissed a girl, like, trying to hand out to this fool, that I liked her, but it didn't give me that far. Yes and no. But, like, I invited her out to this gay bar, and they called Skivvies. I miss it. But, we had a really good time, and it's like, I wanted to tell her right then and there that I liked her, but it's awkward when, you like somebody, and, like, you want to tell them.
No, she didn't like me. She was just a flirt with everybody, so that's all that was. Anyways, later that summer, like, June or July-ish, maybe July, is when we actually started talking a little bit more than friends, not that much. And then she demanded I asked her out. So I did eventually.
Because you was playing games.
On August 15th. And, yeah, because, I was like, well, if I'm going to pick a date, I'm going to pick a good date. And my favorite number is 5, so I picked the 15th. So I like that number or whatever.
You could have picked the 24th, because that's my favorite number.
I like odd numbers. And so anyways, so yeah, August 15, 2013 is when we started dating. And it was so funny because neither one of us was out or anything to our family. So we were just roommates living in a studio apartment together. Literally. So we came out 2 years after, on our 2-year anniversary. And it was like at midnight is when I had posted, said, let's just do it, joking. So I did it. And then we woke up to so many notifications.
No, remember we were laying down and we were like, oh, we should just delete the post. And then we were like, you know what, just fuck it. Like, it's the time to do it.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, everyone was very, welcoming, except everybody already knew, basically, which is, looking back at it, it's like, well, duh, obviously everybody knew it was obvious.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's history from there. And so, we've been talking about starting a family for a couple years now. We always said we would wait until I was getting close to finishing school. So now that I'm on my last year of school, we decided to let's go ahead and start. And so, we wanted to plan it because we wanted to have a spring, summer baby. Don't want a winter baby because they get sick a lot.
Yeah.
So, yes. And so we don't want to be in the hospital baby. Don't want them getting that RSV. All that stuff, little babies get. And so, we decided to start around this time because by the time they'll be born, it'll be like almost summertime and, it might be a little bit easier or whatever. And so, well, should we start? Let's talk about, I guess we could talk about the process. So if you're out there and you're trying to start, you think you're ready to start your family, whatever, a lot of it takes a lot of planning and research.
A lot.
I'm the researcher, not her. I'm a research junkie.
I'm here for moral support, okay?
So the first time I researched was like maybe 2 years ago when I first started looking into it. And so we were looking at the, the turkey baster way. And so, it was basically like you had to buy, those things like when you get a pap smear and it kind of holds you open, You have to buy one of those and you got to get the syringe and, it's basically after doing research recently, I found out that obviously people get pregnant from it, but you kill a lot of sperm and it takes a while, like a couple cycles to actually conceive. And so I did some different research and so we're going to use the soft cups instead, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And so basically, if you're going to start doing that, the first thing to do is to track your cycle. So we use the Eve app. So that's, any app is out there you can use. And some people say to use a couple of different apps. We just use Eve. And so, it'll tell you, what your period is. You just kind of enter in your period. And then it'll show like some green days, which is your fertile window. And so it's about, I don't know, like maybe a week or less, can't remember. And so what we're going to do, we've been tracking it with we bought a kit from Walmart, and it was just an ovulation kit. So it has like 15 or so sticks, and it has a pregnancy test with it. And so basically what we did, we found it easier to pee in the cup, and then we use like a type of cups are those things called?
Yeah.
Like the ones you can like when you meal prep, you put them in those little cups. I can't think of the name right now, but it don't matter. But anyways, that's what we put in, like a little small one we could throw away, And so we took the stick, put it in like the urine for about 10 seconds, and then just let it sit there, and it'll give you like they have a reference line, and if your line is that color or darker, it means you're ovulated. So we did that, and it matched what the app said. So we're gonna stick with the app, and obviously still use the ovulation things to keep track of it as well, just to make sure it's accurate. And so we're going to, because sperm lives in your body. It can live up for 5 days in your body. Does that make sense? And so, but your egg only is available for 24 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the process, like I said, I'll explain a little later, for 3 days. And it'll be 3 days before her egg drops, because she'll be the one that's actually conceiving the baby.
It's the lucky one.
And so so going on the app now, like it's going to be around like August 9th, 10th, and 11th. Could be a little bit before. So somewhere between the 8th and the 11th will be our time frame. And so we're going to do 3 days in a row, and then the egg will drop. So we have enough, sperm in there to fertilize the egg. And then after about a week and a half, 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks, we'll take a pregnancy test and see if, we're pregnant. So, wish us luck. And so, like I said, yeah, tracking is the #1 thing you need to do. I know some people like to go to the sperm banks and stuff. We chose not to do that. And our reasoning is the price in the process. It's a long process. So if you are planning to do the sperm bank, I suggest looking at that stuff now so you can get, your ducks in line on what you want to do. Because you have to set up like a physical exam, like a pre-pregnancy exam with your doctor, but it has to be an approved doctor on their list. And so then they have to send that information. You have to send information in through the mail or fax or something. I only looked at it briefly. And then after that, you have to do a consultation with the sperm bank, and that's like $175. Then you pick your donor and everything, which if you want more information, obviously you have to pay more money. But they give you like, a basic background, like their race, eye color, things they're into, hobbies and stuff, the basics, And you can pay for extra like baby pictures and all kinds of other stuff. And so then the vials, one vial can range between $500 and $900. It really depends on the site you go to. And I feel like if that's something we want to do, we would want at least 2 vials, because you want as much sperm in there, because the frozen sperm is, it doesn't stay as live as long as fresh sperm, obviously, so you're going to want to increase your chances so you don't have to keep doing it. And so if you're spending, about $600 a vial, that adds up. 2 is like $1,200 alone. So when you do pick it, to get it shipped, it's like beginning price is like $200, and it kind of goes up from there. And that's if you get it shipped to you on dry ice or in like the nitrogen, like a little capsule type thing. And if you do the way with the nitrogen to keep it cool, frozen, you have to send that back to the sperm bank because they reuse those. So it's just a lot to it. I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody who wants that, to go that path. That's just why we didn't choose it.
Because we balling on a budget because the struggle is real.
I don't know about all that. Anyways, and so we chose to go with the known sperm donor, which was pretty tough.
Really tough.
You want to tell them about that?
It was hard because, we got 3 no's. It's after, the second one, you get, so I was, we were so disappointed. Felt like, dang, nobody's going to do this, but you don't want to give up because you want to speak into existence, this is going to happen, let me see, I'm sorry. I feel like asking, gay guys, I feel like because they understand, the struggle and how hard it can be for us, and how bad we want kids, so I feel like they have a better understanding. So I'm very excited because, we finally found a donor.
Yeah, how the donor, that we're choosing is one of our best friends. Both of our best friends, but she met him first, so that's why I said to her best friend. I know him through her, but he was very, very kind and generous to do this first, so we definitely appreciate him for that. And for legal reasons, we won't say too much information about him. But how we first asked was so awkward. We messaged the first 3 guys on Facebook, people that we know. And so our very first person was like an old co-worker of hers. And so they were close, And so we were like, hey, can I ask you a weird, awkward question? And so,
You responded back real quick, too.
Yeah, we didn't expect that. So our hearts were racing, hands sweating and everything. It was like, oh my gosh. And so we're like, don't feel pressured. If you say no, we won't be upset. But, would you ever consider being a donor and all this stuff? And so he was saying how, he was happy that we were trying to start a family and everything, and saying how, he's very sweet, and saying how, he needs some time to think about it. So we waited about a week, and we, didn't hear anything back. So we went ahead and messaged and said, hey, just checking in, have you had some time to think about it? Do you want to have any questions?
Right.
And so then that's when he was like, oh, sorry, it's been busy, I meant to text you.
Yeah.
But, saying he had to, politely decline. And so the second guy we asked basically did the same thing, said, oh, after about a week, said, oh, I meant to text you back. And so I'm not saying this will be the same for you, but words to the wise, if they take, I say, longer than 3 or 4 days to respond back, it's probably a no. That was just with us. And so, because I had one person give me a straight answer, a no, right off the bat. And, I feel like with the first ones that they were probably considered, but maybe somebody talked them out of it or something like that. I don't know. But
I feel like you should just start hella early asking people, because
oh
we
yeah,
really was like, we got a little cocky because like, we got, three dudes, one of them gonna say yes.
yeah, literally we say, oh yeah, one of them gonna say yes. I ain't
Right,
worried about it,
so-
Yeah, all three said no.
Yeah,
So
so-
don't be too optimistic like we were. And so yeah, that process was pretty long. And another thing that we did before we asked was we had a contract ready. And so I suggest doing that because it's going to protect both you and the donor. And so like with what we did was like Google like contracts. So well, that's what I did because I'm a research junkie. Anyways, Google like contracts that people had with sperm donors. And so then I kind of pulled out things that would affect us, like that would fit for us, kind of tweaked them a little bit. And then, with our donor, we'll, have everyone sign and, probably get it notarized. I mean, because I took some legal classes. So with a contract, it's basically like an agreement between two people. And so if someone fails to, if someone like breaks one of the agreements, then you can sue them because it is a written agreement. That is what a contract is. So don't be scared if you don't have a lawyer or anything, or you don't get it notarized. It's still 100% effective as long as everyone signed it. And so anyway, what the contract basically says, it says a lot, but to kind of summarize it, it basically says like the donor is giving up all their parental rights. They won't be on the birth certificate. They won't try to, take us to whoever custody, all stuff like that. And then to protect them, it says that, same thing, but basically that we won't come after them for financial assistance, and that anything that has to do with the baby is solely up to us and us only. And a little bit more information. If anybody wants to see, I can email it to you. If you send us an email in your comments or something, if you're curious, I can send it to what ours says. And then we also did like a questionnaire that we're gonna have them fill out as well about like health, family and health history with them and their family. Ask about like hobbies, like what were they good at in school and stuff, and about mental issues, or if their parents or grandparents are alive, what they died for, just so we can kind of have an idea of the health of the baby mixed with her health background, and then the donor is just so I feel like stuff like that's important to know, especially if you can't get a hold of your donor in the future, if something happens with your child and your donor doesn't want to give you answers. You gotta have it already, if that if that makes sense. And so yeah, definitely get the contract in line and make sure everyone agrees to the terms of the contract. And so we're allowing our donor to have someone else there with them if they would like, for a witness, so they don't feel like they're in it alone, And so what next? So, I guess we'll tell with the process now. So we are doing the soft cups. And so we bought them on eBay, and it came with what, 6?
Yeah, 6.
6. You can order bigger quantities. We only ordered 6. Some to practice with, and 3 to practice with, and then 3 to do the actual conception. So basically when they came in, like they're individually wrapped in this purple. Okay. So then when you open it up, show you look like, and what a soft cup is, it's like an alternative to pads and tampons that people use, but then people have found that you can use it to help conceive, because it basically goes into you, and it helps the little swimmers swim up to the cervix. So when the egg drops, they'll be in there already. So that's what it helps. So anyways, when you pull it out, this is what it looks like. You can kind of push it down, whatever, So when you're, basically the guy will put his deposit in here, okay? And then you're just going to squeeze the sides like this. And then you're just going to put it in you. But when you put it in, you have to aim down and then back. Like when you do a tampon, you're kind of like aiming up. But this is different. You're going to aim down. So if you use it for your period, you'll aim down, and it when you let go, it'll open up to the size of you, so it kind of adjusts to your size, and then like the blood will like catch it here if you use it for your period, which I might try out and then do a video on if I do try it out, because it'll be a lot better than getting pads and tampons all the time.
I would just be too nervous.
Yeah, but they say like when you first start to have a pad, just in case you leak it, till you get used to it. But anyways, like I say, he'll come in here, and then it'll go directly into her. So then some people say they'll set up with their legs in there for a little bit, but I don't know if we'll do that yet. But basically you have to keep it in for 6 to 12 hours. And then after that you take it out. And then when you do take it out, it should be a mix of this the sperm as well as like her juices should be mixed in there. So, because not all the sperm will get up there, but that's what it should look like when we take it out. So we're going to do it 3 days in a row to make sure we get enough in there for when the egg drops or whatever. And so when we do that, after about 2 weeks, like I said, that's when we'll do the pregnancy test and hope for the BFP. And so, yeah, I think that's about it. Once we actually do the process, we'll make a video about it and talk about how it went. Because, you know, it's a little nervous. Like, we're hoping, like, you know, we're going to spill the sperm when it goes in there. You know, like, little questions. So, we'll, you know, we're very anxious because it's our first time, you know. And so, we'll, you know, make videos of, you know, how the first day goes and then stuff like that. And then once we do that, then we'll make a video with the pregnancy test. We have 2 pregnancy tests. One that came with the kit and one that I just bought recently. And so we're going to have our reaction videos and stuff. So we're hoping we're positive. Keep fingers crossed and send us prayers.
Yes.
Because we've been wanting a baby for a long time. And we're hoping for a boy. I think it's going to be 2 boys. Because we...
Right. Talk about that. Do the hair test.
Yeah, we did the ring test. It's funny that we say the same things, literally. We think the same things. But we did that little test where you get a piece of hair, you put it around the ring, you know, you put it around your fingers or whatever, tells you, like, what you're going to have, how many kids you're going to have, and what order you're going to have if it's a boy or a girl. So we're very certain that's going to be twin boys. We could be wrong, but this video's reference that we called it before.
Right.
So that's what we think we're going to have. So, and we have names and stuff picked out that if it comes that it's, you know, once we find out that we're pregnant, what we're having, we'll eventually release those things. We'll do a little reveal and stuff like that. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, concerns, you know, requests for us to make videos to answer questions or whatever,
don't hesitate to ask.
just leave a comment and we'll respond to it. We may even make a video to respond to all the questions or whatever. So like I said, we're newcomers to this, so but we're gonna stick around for a while and hopefully be able to see our baby grow with us. And so like, subscribe us, so we'll appreciate it. Anything else?
No,
All right, bye.
Bye.